Very good evening, everyone. Good evening, students. So, first of all, I welcome each one of you to my class on Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. I hope you all are doing fine. So, let's begin with this session. So, let's start with my brief introduction first. My name is Sandeep Khatri. These are my areas of specialization, as you can see on the screen. Here is the link of my profile of Unacademy. So, make sure you follow that to get all the updates about my special classes and my plus courses. Here is the link of my Telegram channel where you can connect with me and ask your questions in relation to your judicial preparation. At last, I have mentioned my code, that is Khatri10, which you can use to get a free access of all the special classes available on Unacademy app. So this was about me. Now I request everyone, please be attentive, and this is going to be an interactive session. So the moment you feel you are not clear with anything, ask your questions in the comments and I'll answer accordingly. So students, in this class, I'm going to discuss the very basics of this subject, the overall introduction of CrPC 1973. So even if before starting this session, if you do have any questions in your mind, you may ask. Very good evening, Amit and everyone, those of you who have just joined. Any questions, students, before even starting the class, the introduction of CrPC? Okay. So I'm beginning with the very basic introduction of CrPC. To start with, we are going to deal with two important questions. The very first one is what is CrPC, and the second is why do we need the concept of CrPC. So let's understand this answer of these two questions, that what is CrPC and why do we need the concept of CrPC, with a very simple example. Suppose one offense took place. Now the moment I use this word offense, it may be from IPC or any special law. Mind it, students, if any special law, if we are talking about any offense of any special law, if the procedure has been laid down in that particular special law, then we don't require CrPC in that case. Okay. But once the very first stage, if an offense has taken place, and that is either under IPC or under special law, then the second step is who is the one who has committed the offense. So there is going to be an accused. Now, IPC is going to tell you that what offense has been committed and what is the punishment for that. Now, coming to the role of CrPC. CrPC is going to tell you the procedure. What kind of a procedure? That who is going to do the investigation part? What is the objective of investigation? Followed by who is going to do the inquiry. What is the objective of inquiry? And finally, who is going to do the trial? And once the trial has been done, then the accused is going to be convicted or acquitted. And whether do we need whether do we have the concept of appeal or not? So basically, this whole procedure is given by CrPC. So CrPC is going to give you the procedure through which the accused, which means the defense and the prosecution, will go through, and we will finally reach to that conclusion of acquittal or conviction. So what is CrPC? Now coming to the answer of this question, CrPC is a procedure. It is a procedural law that's give you a procedure about the offenses. For example, first there is an investigation followed by your inquiry and the trial. If I need to conclude the whole CrPC into just 3 words, the whole concept of CrPC in 3 words. The first one is going to be investigation, the second one is going to be inquiry, and the third is going to be the trial. Now coming to why do we need this concept? Why do we need this concept? Because once the offense has taken place, it is important for a society which we are living in that the person should be punished. And what punishment he will get? So, IPC will tell you the concept of punishment. But when it comes to CRPC, we are going to use the word sentence. So, what sentence he will get? So that again we need for that concept the CRPC. Now, any questions from what is CRPC and why do we need the concept of CRPC? One more important term I like to use here, that is the concept of social engineering. Now, what is the concept of social engineering? Let's go into the detail, which is again the answer of your question, why do we need CRPC? So when it comes to the concept of social engineering, under CRPC, there are 37 chapters, students, and 484 sections, 2 schedules. You can pick any chapter, you can pick any section, or you can pick any schedule. You will find one common concept, and that is of social engineering. Now, what kind of social engineering we are talking about? If you have gone through with the jurisprudence law in detail, you must have also heard about this term, social engineering. So, social engineering means if we do have the concept of arrest under CRPC, then at the same time, we do have the concept of bail as well. Now we do have two parties. One is your prosecution side, the another one is your defense side. When I talk about arrest, to whom it is going to benefit? The prosecution story. Okay. But if we do have the concept of bail as well, so it means that is going to benefit the accused only. This is your social engineering, which is balancing the provisions. You will not find any single chapter or section or the provision in the schedule which is doing injustice to any party. The CRPC is drafted in such a way that if some person has committed the offense, that person will get the sentence, will get the punishment. But if someone has not, then they will be released. They will be not harassed with the procedure. Procedures like, let's take a very simple example. If someone, you must have heard about these kind of examples or the stories that a person has committed an offense and the maximum punishment for that offense is 3 years, but the person is in jail for more than, 5 years now, still waiting for his trial. So to avoid these kind of circumstances, we have drafted the whole CRPC in such a way that it is going to balance and a fair trial will be given, whether it is for the victim or the society or on the another hand, the accused. Fair trial doesn't mean that we have to support only the prosecutions and only the prosecution's story, only the victim. It is for the accused as well. Now, anything which you are not clear with? Yes, please. About CRPC, very first two questions. What is a procedure? Now, again, going into one step further, when I use this term, procedure, the key term, you can divide the whole CRPC into 3 kinds of procedures. The very first one that starts from FIR, that is your first information report, section 154. Then the second one is basically your complaint. Section 2D defined the term complaint, and section 200 to 203 is your complaint proceedings. And last but not the least, any kind of information, or you can say suo motu. So these are the three procedures that you are going to study in detail in your CRPC. So once FIR, then the second step here is usually the case of investigation. Moving forward with the investigation, then there is going to be a police report. Then on police report, the magistrate will take the cognizance. After taking the cognizance, the issue of process. Once the issue of process, the concept of charge. Once the concept of charge, then there is trial. And once there is a trial, the conclusion is going to be either that is going to be your conviction or acquittal. And then the case of appeal. So this whole is basically step by step, starting from investigation, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and so on. This is the procedure we are talking about. On this same keyword, you usually got one more question, that whether CRPC is purely a procedural law. Purely a procedural law means, is there any section in the CRPC that's talk about substantive law as well? The major difference between procedural law is that it gives you a procedure. What kind of procedure? Procedure on criminal law. Now let's take one example of section 125 of CRPC, which talks about maintenance. So that is not giving you a procedure, that is giving you a right, that you can claim maintenance. Children can claim maintenance from the parents. Wife can claim maintenance from the husband. So when we say, and parents can claim maintenance from their son or daughter, in short, the children. So it is not purely procedural, but majorly it is again going to fall under the category of procedural law only. Okay. On the similar concept, we do have CPC as well, which basically deals with the civil concepts. So if there is a contract and someone breached the contract, and the aggrieved party wants to file a suit, then and in which court they can go and so on. So there comes the concept of CPC. But right now we are talking about CRPC. So this is the procedure we are talking about. Now coming to this second procedure one, once the complaint has been filed, what will happen after that? Then there is going to be examination of complainant. So basically the role of section 200, examination. Why do we have examination? Can some kind of concept of examination can also take place at the time of FIR? No, not at all. If the information is about cognizable offense, then it is mandatory. There is a word shall has been used when it comes to section 154. You can also go through with the landmark judgment of Lalita Kumari, which concludes this concept that if the person is giving information about the cognizable offense, then the police officer left with no other option but to lodge the FIR. But when it comes to complaint, and that complaint to the magistrate under section 200, there is an examination is going to take place. After examination, the magistrate will figure out two things. There can be three options. First, magistrate has been convinced that yes, some offense has taken place and this is a genuine complaint. In that case, he will go for section 204. That is basically issue of process. Now, there can be second circumstances when magistrate is convinced that the allegations are completely baseless and it is not a genuine complaint. Then it will go under section 203, that is dismissal. And the last third option, section 202, which is basically postponement of issue of process, which means the magistrate needs time to think on. The magistrate needs some facts. So magistrate may direct to the police officer that you do investigate and tell me that whether this kind of an offense has taken place or not. And once after 202, then again the magistrate will take a call that whether he wants to go under 204 or 203. And when it comes to 203, this is basically the same issue of process we are talking about here. The magistrate can take the cognizance. Here, if you will look on this, here magistrate is taking cognizance on police report. That is section 173. But when it comes to cognizance, the magistrate is taking cognizance on complaint. Can he do so? Yes. You may refer section 190 as well. And you will get to know that magistrate has all the power, the judicial magistrate first class has all the powers to take cognizance on police report, the complaint, on any information or suo motu. Moving forward, once the issue of process, then again the concept of charge framing and then the trial. You will see, all these cognizance, issue of process, charge and trial. This is something which is common in all these three procedures. Here the term cognizance. So you will see same four concepts: cognizance, issue of process, charge and trial. This is what I am telling you, the core of CrPC as of now. Moving forward, now the last one, information. First, let's understand what is information and how it is different from the concept of complaint. So let's take a simple example then. If I come to you and I give you just the information that this particular murder has taken place on so and so location and done by that so and so person. I don't want you to take any action. I'm just giving you the information only. Now it is up to you whether you want to take any suo motu or whether you want to take any action on this information. That's completely your choice. But when it comes to complaint, the complainant wants the magistrate to take action on that. So there's a big difference. And that is why, because here complainant wants the action, that's why there was concept of examination of complaint. But in this case, you will not find any examination or anything. Now this is completely on the magistrate end, that whether he wants to take cognizance on that or not. So once you got the information, that may go into the dustbin as well. For many reasons, there can be many reasons for that. Or the magistrate may take the cognizance. If it is credible information and the magistrate thinks, yes, that, okay, let's take one good example on the concept of information, that there is some Gabbar Singh, and because of that Gabbar Singh, everyone was in so fear that no one is lodging the FIR or no one is doing the complaint. But the magistrate do believe that yes, there is a Gabbar Singh in my area. So he may take the cognizance on that particular information. So once you are done with cognizance, then again issue of process, then charge, and then trial. See, the conclusion is the same. It may start with FIR, complaint, information or suo motu, that may depends, but it will end on trial. Trial. This is the procedure I'm talking about. This is the core of CrPC in front of you. Now, anything you are not clear with, please do write your questions in the comments. Yes, please. All clear? Okay, let's continue. I just told you in CRPC there are 37 chapters, 484 sections. Okay, two schedules. The thing is, huge syllabus, right? But still, can you say that this code is exhaustive? Now, first, let's understand the question. What is exhaustive? First, understand the question. What is exhaustive? Exhaustive here means complete. Complete in a sense that CRPC doesn't require any other law to support this. And the answer is this is not exhaustive. Now, coming to the reasons. Why not? Amir, if you can please come up with any specific question, which part is not clear to you? If you can please come up with any specific question. Okay, you just write revise last, so it would be really helpful. Okay. Uh, so the thing is, when we say exhaustive, the answer is no. Why no? Why this is still not exhaustive? So one of the reasons why CRPC is not considered as an exhaustive law is because of section 482. And this is basically the inherent powers of the High Court. And inherent powers comes into picture only in those circumstances when CRPC does not have any specific provision for a specific problem. Let's understand this whole concept with the help of an example. We do have the concept of section 154 FIR. But do we have any specific section? Do we have any specific section where we can delete the whole FIR? And the answer is no. Why? Because there is no such provision. So once the FIR has been lodged, but that is completely false or to just to defame someone, in those circumstances, then what we can do? So again, we need to follow the whole procedure starting from FIR till trial. Do we need to follow the whole procedure, which is going to be extra harassment of the accused? If we got to know on the step 1 that it is completely baseless, so there comes the role of section 482. So who has the power? The power lies in the hands of High Court. One more important thing to address here, students, that okay, Amir. Once I'm done with the exhaustive part, I'll repeat the information point again. Okay, I just got your question. Now, coming to when it comes to section 482, the inherent powers lies only in the hands of High Courts. Only in the hands of High Court. Usually, when it comes to CPC, inherent powers lies in all the courts, but not in the case of criminal law. Now, why not? And the reasoning for that is because this is not something which you can use on in every case or on a daily usage. This power of section 482 must be used very carefully by someone who is very experienced, and that is why High Court has been chosen for that. So it is exclusively for High Court only. But yes, for the sake of interest of justice, we do have given ancillary powers to other criminal courts, but not under section 482. So this was the concept of exhaustive one. Now I'm repeating myself about the information point. Answering your question, Amir, listen carefully now. Information or suo motu. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose a judicial magistrate, first class, is reading a newspaper. Okay? Reading a newspaper. And there is a news that in this area, so and so, there is a dacoit called Gabbar Singh, and no one is lodging the FIR to save their lives. No one is making the complaint, but so and so is the news. Okay, and he is doing crimes on daily basis of robbery, dacoity, and so on. Okay, now the judicial magistrate first class believes that whatever has been written in this newspaper article, this is genuine, this is true. Okay, so in short, with that particular article of from the newspaper, the judicial magistrate first class has got information only. Okay, that is information from the newspaper. So in that scenario, if the judicial magistrate first class, the very first question is, can judicial magistrate first class take cognizance on that information? And the answer is yes, where it is written. You may refer section 190 of CrPC for that, which gives the power to the judicial magistrate first class. And in some cases, judicial magistrate second class also, if empowered by the chief judicial magistrate. So now this 190 gives the power to judicial magistrate first class. So once the cognizance has been taken, then what is the next process? Once the cognizance has been taken, then he may issue of process. Now what is issue of process? Summons or the warrants, as the case may be. And after that, framing of charge. After that, the concept of trial. Now the question is, why do we need these kind of concepts? Because at times there are examples that for some people, for any XYZ reasons, these are options available. There may be case that someone has lodged FIR already on the name of Gabbar Singh, that so and so offense has been committed by him, then we don't require that. But if not, then we do have. Okay, these are the ways. So basically, to bring the criminal law into motion, that is the overall objective of CrPC. To bring the criminal law into motion. That if someone from the society is not taking the initiative, then here it is. I hope now it's clear, Amir Hussain. If you still have any doubts, you may write the questions. Anyone else? So this was a very brief introduction about the CrPC. That what is CrPC? Why do we need the concept of CrPC? What are the procedures available? And then whether CrPC is exhaustive or not. These are the very first few questions which a student must understand before going into the details of the concepts of CrPC. So students, this was it. Here is the link of my profile of Unacademy, the link of my Telegram channel, and my code Khatri10. Let's crack PCSJ with Unacademy. Students, you can save big on judiciary subscriptions. You can save up to 20%. Plus, you can get up to free 6 months extension from Feb 10 to 15. Unacademy is launching Safalta 4.0 comprehensive batch. Duration is of 12 months. There's also announcement for one more batch. Unacademy launching linking batch for RJS, Rajasthan Judicial Services, and Gujarat Judicial Services. The duration is of 6 months. A revision batch for UP mains exam. Then there is a Chhattisgarh Judiciary Prelims mock test series. Mains test series for Punjab Judiciary. Unacademy has already launched their judiciary notes. And that's it from my end. See you in my next class. Till then, yes, it's time to say peace.